Man, this is like fucking, I don't know, man. This is like a Florida takeover today, man. It's amazing, man, how the whole Florida scene is just blew up out of nowhere. And you were actually the first one to actually blow up.
Yeah.
Before the other cats.
Yeah, low key. I've been at it, just like putting in like groundwork and shit for the longest. Just like really caring about like my brand, like the music itself too. But just like more of the important shit, I guess. You know what I mean?
But as far as like the old heads always look at the young kids as being like the drug heads, popping pills, going crazy, having fun. But you are actually lyrical. Yeah. Can you teach these like old heads out here that there's a difference? And
I feel like there's a median with everything. You know what I mean? I feel like this year, 2018 specifically, we're gonna see a brighter broadcast of like people that could actually rap, but just with like current beats. You know what I mean? Because there's not a lot of rappers that are like really like doing that. Like there's rappers doing that, but like full-fledged. Like I know I'm trying to do that. Flatbush Zombies definitely trying to do that.
Hands
like,
down.
Yeah, like a couple of and a couple of other artists too. Like even artists like Ski too, and you know, just like hella artists that are doing that. So I don't really feel like there's gonna be like that gap anymore. I would advise people to rap because it's like you're not doing this for no reason. Like I mean, it's cool to like if you know how to make a song, kudos to you. You know what I mean? But I feel like if you want to get into rap and this is something you want to do as like a profession, and it's like you should at least try it. Yeah, like you feel me? Like it doesn't hurt. Like even Waka did it. Like he wasn't the most lyrical person in the world, but I remember I heard like a mixtape of him like really trying to rap.
Yeah, spitting it. Even I was shocked. Like I was like,
yeah, I feel like anybody could do that. Like imagine if 21 Savage dropped like a real rap album. I'd be shocked.
That shit would be crazy, but I bet you it'd be fire.
Yeah, it'd be just as fire as the shit that he putting out right now.
Exactly.
Explain this Palm Beach thing. Like you know, like I know you got a little Bronx DNA in you. You know what I'm saying? Like your dad used to, what was your dad? He used to freestyle back in the days?
Yeah, my dad used to freestyle, like battle rap in the Bronx.
Ooh,
that's
so you
crazy.
come from this shit. Like.
Yeah, low key, but I don't like be showing it off like that or nothing like that, because it's cool. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like my dad used to rap, but it's like I always did shit on like my own, and I had like a different perspective from him. So like I feel like that's just like what differs us. But he definitely like influenced me a lot, because like when I was like year or 2 years old, he would always like bring me to the studio, just like have me listen to shit. Like I'd be listening to him like make beats and like all that.
So as far as production goes, your father was like kind of like an initial influence, but did Murder Beats or did they change the way you rap, or you've always had that style? Like,
nah, I've always had that style, because like, you know what I mean, I grew up from that. I can't like deny like what music I grew up on. Like, feel me? Like if like that's like a kid nowadays saying like, oh yeah, like I rap like this because I grew up on Gucci, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just as much as that. Like I was listening to like Lil Jon and the East Side Boys when I was like 8 years old, you know what I mean? And then when I really decided to start rapping when I was 8, I saw the More Money More Problems music video, and I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Oh wow.
And then because I thought it was just that. And then my cousin Nino from Ohio, he was like trying to rap and shit, and I remember my dad had gave us not a cassette, but it was like a big, like an old school like Timberland box, one of them huge ones.
Sounds so New York. Yeah. You're already starting real New York.
Yeah, like Timberland.
Nah.
I got no tips. Nah, I'm fucking with you.
I got one of those boxes, and it had like every album from like 91 all the way to like 2001. So like the first album I ever listened to was Ready to Die.
Oh wow.
That's my guy right here, Brooklyn.
Man, you just gained like another million OG heads. Like fuck
I mean, I don't try to, you know what I mean? I'm just honest.
Yeah, because I think it's different though now too, because there's been so much animosity between like the younger crowd, like the newer generation and the older generation, that OG generation.
Yeah.
So now that there's other younger dudes like Famous Dex and stuff like that who are actually showing like, yo, we actually fuck with these OGs. Like we respect them. I think that.
Yeah, I was just bumping Biggie on my story earlier this morning.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like it's crazy because like I don't really see like the point of like OGs hating, because it's like I look at it as like how like the 80s when y'all was shifting into like the boom bap era, 90s, like everybody from the late 80s probably like, I don't think Curtis Blow probably looked at like Rakim and was like, yeah, you know what I mean, like that's hip hop, you know what I mean? I don't think like Sugarcane Hill looked at like KRS-One is like, yeah, that's real deal hip hop. We look at that because that's what made foundations, you know what I mean? But I feel like everything has a shifting point, and everything is meant to evolve. You know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing that it is evolving. It's not a bad thing that hip hop right now doesn't sound like how it was in the 90s, because at that point all we doing is repeating. If you repeating, then what the fuck is hip hop?
Yeah,
it ain't really evolving. Like rock and roll evolved. You feel me? Like, so if they can do that with their culture, why we can't do this with ours? Like, us as rappers, us as producers, us as like creators that are like trying to like real deal like innovate music. You know what I mean? There's people that be thinking so like minuscule and like be like, oh, I'm gonna just do this for a check, which that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, nowadays, 9 times out of 10, they gotta like what? Like have a gimmick, do some dumb shit on Instagram to get your attention, and then be like, hey, I happen to make music too. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really hear a lot of artists that are like, fuck rapping, solidly known just for their music, cult following fan base just for their music. You know what I mean? There's not too many artists. I can name hella artists like on my fingers. I really want to break that. It shouldn't really even be like that. Like, if you have a talent and you know that like you have an amazing God-given ability and you just so happen to be the top elite at what you do. Right. I mean, of course everybody's different and everybody's special, you know what I mean? But if you know you got a niche and you real deal is like nasty with it, like
that should be on the forefront.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that should definitely be on the forefront. You don't have to be a lyrical, like, miracle rapper. Like, shit, be a trap rapper, but, like, really, like, put hits out.
Right.
Like, that's why I look at Future. I'm like, bruh, like, Future's a perfect example of that. New generation of music, hits. Wow. Straight hits. And how can you disrespect it?
You can't.
You can't. Because at the end of the day, fuck the numbers. It's like you just did something that a lot of rappers are trying to do. Scratch the surface and make the fucking shit tilt. Give it a new energy, a new sound, a new flavor. Give people another reason to act like a certain person. Wayne was doing it in 05 and 06.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, it just keeps going. And it's like, why wouldn't you want that to keep going? But instead of it like going and it just being like secluded and only like a couple rappers do it, it only looks cool to a certain crowd of people. Nah, we need to make music like that. Like, if you make really good music, your worth and your ability needs to be known.
Right.
Point blank, period. It doesn't matter if you're a one-hit wonder, if you've been putting years in this shit, da-da-da-da-da. If you know your shit is that fire, that shit has to be there. If not, what the fuck you doing this for?
Extension, like, you know, he's crazy. His popularity is out of control, but he does spit shit. Like,
no, he deserves it.
That Christmas shit mixtape he put out, he was spitting bars on it.
No, he deserves it, dude. He's a great artist at the end of the day.
And he actually gave you the freestyle of the year. Like, you know, that's crazy. Like, I mean,
man, shout out
but it's hard for, like, I say it because I got to go through the music and I like certain situations. Of course.
I
do radio. But for whoever's looking outside and in, they look at him like he's crazy. But to have him like just respect your bars is like,
yeah, I mean,
in that world the kids is going crazy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, it's been my dog since I was like a little kid, man. Like, I've known him for so long. I'm not even finna like get into details, but like,
damn,
that was like, yeah, dude. That like me, him, and Ski, we used to like all live together.
What?
Like, yeah, no, we were all in a group, like members only. That was us, like, yeah.
Earl Sweatshirt, man. What's up? That's my boy, man. Yo, you fuck with him? Like, he kind of like give you a good look?
I fuck with Earl. Bro, Earl's like one of my favorite rappers like in the world.
He's so conservative and like, I don't know.
But I look up to people like that because it's like you only want people to know like what you give out, and that's how I am. Like, even if I was like the like biggest celebrity like in the world, like I know I'm still gonna be like, I'm gonna at least try every bit of me at least to be secretive and like be secluded, because like I need to just focus on just music. Like, that's it. That's the only thing that helps me.
So what's gonna be popping on the next mixtape? You want to shout, or just under wraps?
Well, right now I could let everyone know who I'm working with right now.
Go ahead.
I just did at least like 2 or 3 records with like Lab Cook.
Oh wow. Okay.
I got like 2 records with Smash David. I've been working a lot. Oh, I got a joint with Jalil Beats.
Oh wow, that's my man too.
Yeah, like I got some shit with him. It's some crazy shit. Like, it's some whole off the wall shit. The whole project itself is just like completely different. Like, every single song, the cadence, like the mood. It's not just like one thing. It's just like all over the place. Because I want to give people like the best music as possible. And
you don't want to be in that box.
Yeah,
either.
I just want everybody to feel comfortable listening to my music. Point blank, period.
As far as weed goes, what's your favorite strand out there? We got people calling up potheads. You know, weed's getting legal everywhere.
Burner's Cookies.
What's that?
I don't even know.
Oh,
what
Burner.
that is.
Burner. Rapper.
Oh, Burner. Oh, Burner. Burner.
He be sending me
It's
mad
the
shit.
homie.
Yeah.
This shit's wild.
You a video game head? You be online like going ham with the kids out there? Like I heard you a video game geek, man.
I just like playing like 2 video games. That's it. But like I'm a geek about those specific video games.
Oh, get out of here for real.
Yeah, it's like weird ass games too. Like people would be like,
Twitch
why?
though?
Cause why not? You feel me?
What wrestler do we have up here recently? Didn't I have like Hulk Hogan up here or some shit like that?
Yeah, you always got somebody.
Yeah, I always got like wild wrestlers up here.
Yeah, look at
just
his
hanging out.
face.
Yeah. I heard you're a wrestling freak, man. What's up, man? You wanted to be a wrestler when you were young, or what happened?
Nah, my step grandfather on my dad's side was a tag team champion in Puerto Rico.
Nah.
Yeah, so it like runs in our family and shit.
a tag. What the fuck? Is any wrestling influence your music? Like
100%.
Yeah.
Like as far as like demeanor and like, you know what I mean, how like characters that I come up with my head, how I kind of wanted Wifisfuneral to look like. Yeah, I guess.
So if you were a wrestler, what would your wrestling name be?
I have no idea. Probably Wifisfuneral. Honestly, because I just feel like that name's hard as fuck. Like,
That shit is hard.
Real shit.
Where did that come from, Wifisfuneral? Before you get out of here, but you gotta let us know what's the origin of that name.
So basically, it started off as a group with me and my homeboy Gabe. He's currently DJing for Ski Master Slump God right now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like, it started off as like me and him. He was my hype man at first, and how we met was through his homeboy committing suicide. So that's like where the funeral part like goes into play. And then Wi-Fi, just because I want everybody, all ages, everywhere around the world, just to feel connected to the music and feel comfortable listening to it.
What was your first name you came out with, and you said fuck that, I ain't fucking with that name? What was the first
name I ever had? I think it was
it was a UHF or nothing like that. Like,
nah, I was a big Earl Sweatshirt fan, and I was like 13, and I wanted to be Earl so bad, so I called myself Casper Winter Jacket.
Yo, Winter Jacket.
Get it? Like Earl Sweatshirt, Casper Winter Jacket.
Winter Jacket.
Yeah, you feel me?